How to download and save student data files. Now, student data files are sort of those template files that we need to load in order to complete assignments. So many of the projects and skills assignments will allow you or will ask you to load sort of a template or sort of a foundational file into Word or Excel, Access, or PowerPoint, and then you'll make changes based upon the text to that file and then save that file back. That's what these student data files are. So, so with that, we'll go to our Word module. In the Windows Web module, there's a download for student data files as well. Word is really where you start using student data files the most, I guess just period, the most. Okay. Now, as we scroll down to directions, how-to, course goals, module resources, we see the PowerPoints and we see student data files. Okay, in this case, I've included chapters 6 and 7 for Word into one file. There are data files, student data files for all the chapters, and if I loaded those all together, that would be fairly large. The file size would be fairly large, but I've only included chapters 6 and 7 to make it a little bit smaller, make the file a little bit smaller, a little easier to download, and it should work a little bit better for us. So you'll repeat these steps throughout modules Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and the Windows Web module. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and left click on chapter 6 and 7 Word, and it's going to come up with a dialog box that says, do we want to open it or do we want to save the file? I want to go ahead and save the file. Now, and where I want to do that too, let me scroll through this. Remember we used the CS110 homework example earlier? New Mexico State, CS110. Let's see if I can find that. Example. There we go. This is where that school homework would be found at. So we have CS110, remember all of our classes, but we have CS110. And then we have our CS110 homework. And remember all of the folders we put in there for the different assignments? Okay, those are there. Let me just go up. Student data files. I created this folder to go ahead and drop these, this particular zip file into it. Now remember, if you need to create the student data files, right-click, New, Folder. Okay, that's how you create that. Now I'm going to double click on student data files, and I had already loaded this in here. So we'll just leave it as is. That'll save a little time on the video. So the actual compressed file is Word data files -1.zip. Now I want to point out, what is this zip file? It's a compressed file format. Ordinarily, if we had these files that were not compressed, it would be this large. Okay, relatively speaking, this large. When we and a file this large takes a certain amount of time to download over the internet. Okay, if we compress it, and there's a process to that, we make that file size this large, and we make each one of those smaller inside of that. So we can download a compressed file format, and then we need to extract the files to make them large again so we can use them. So I'm going to go ahead, remember that we clicked on just download the files, left click, okay, save, find our location that we need to go to, where we want to save them at, example, homework, CS110, student data files, and then save it. Okay, so that's the download process. Now we're going to go to what we're going to see at the other end. Example, remember where we were at schoolwork? CS110, student data files. Okay, now what we need to do at this point is right-click, extract all. It'll come up with the default directory that's one lower than where we are currently at. We want to extract those. Now, it creates a folder called Word Data Files 1. There's Word. There's Chapter 6, and this is the file that we'll use for Chapter 6. Chapter 7, these are all the files that we'll use for Chapter 7. Okay, so when an assignment wants us to go ahead and load up the social media file, we can go ahead and a number of different ways. You can just go ahead and double click on this particular file. Oh, that is a video. Okay, I'm going to go right here to chapter 7. My apologies. And then I don't recall. I think China and Tibet essay is what we'll take a look at. We can double click on China and Tibet essay. It'll go ahead and load, and then we'll go ahead and edit this file. The other the other way to do this would be to go ahead and load Word. We'll go ahead and open, File, Open. Probably in this case, I know we're seeing it up here, but we're probably going to have to browse for it initially. NM, New Mexico State, example, CS110, student data files. I know we're clicking through a lot. China and Tibet essay. Open it. Okay, and so at this point, we'll be able to go ahead and make those changes as the assignment wants us to make. Okay, so when we go there, what we'll see is in underneath student data files, we see Word. When you download the Excel files, you'll see that and that zip file, so extract that. You'll see PowerPoint, extract that. After you download Excel, actually, yes, I should probably back up. You have to download the Excel zip file just like we did with Word. It'll load into this area, extract it, and then you'll see a series of folders underneath it. Do the same thing with PowerPoint. Do the same thing with Word. So matter of fact, let's do this right quick. Excel. Okay, and I'll probably pause the video just to make it run a little more quickly for us. Okay, we'll scroll down. Student data files. Left click. Save it. Okay, this is the directory that we see. It's going to save to automatically. We're going to come to New Mexico State. Example, school homework, CS110, student data files. We're going to save this there. Okay. We're going to go to student data files. We see this Excel data file zip. Right click, extract all. Select the default location, typically. It'll extract all those files. And it'll do so pretty quickly. Now again, we see the Excel data files. Excel, Chapter 8. These files will load into Excel. Chapter 9. Many of those we will as well. So in a nutshell, that's how to download and extract those data files and how to load them into Word, or Word is the example we use, but how to load them into the application. So if you have questions or comments, please contact me.